As 2012 begins, the Indianapolis Near East Side neighborhood is in the midst of an exciting transformation. Neighborhood organizations, civic leaders, and residents have been hard at work rebuilding the historic Indianapolis neighborhood. But not long ago, the Near East Side was a neighborhood in crisis, faced with the collapse of key neighborhood institutions, the loss of homeowners, and the nation's highest foreclosure concentration.
The housing situation has been one of the worst, and because of that, the crime got much, much worse.
But like any crisis, the one in Indianapolis's Near East Side was also an opportunity. Working with the support of Indianapolis Local Initiatives Support Corporation, Near East Side residents got to work developing a roadmap for the future of their neighborhood called a Quality of Life Plan.
To me, it just spoke volumes about the desire of our residents to reclaim control of our destiny as a community. Think of your own neighborhood you live in. Where would you get 400 of your neighbors to turn out on a Saturday for 5 hours to talk about quality of life?
Working with LISC, the John H. Bonner Community Center, Indy East Asset Development, and East 10th Street Civic Association, the residents helped secure funding to launch numerous important projects. Meanwhile, Indianapolis was working on its bid for the 2012 Super Bowl. That's when LISC Executive Director Bill Taft contacted Super Bowl Bid Committee Chairman Mark Miles with a bold suggestion. What if the Super Bowl Bid Committee adopted the Near East Side Quality of Life Plan as its legacy project?
I made a cold call to Mark Miles, who was chairing the bid, and presented this idea.
It was a sort of out-of-the-box thought for what's basically a sports organization. But we gave that some thought, and we looked at the quality of life plans, and were particularly struck by the work that had been done by the folks here on the Near East Side.
NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell said he and the owners were won over by the city's plan to use the Super Bowl to rebuild the Near East Side. And already, a new future has taken shape on the Near East Side. For starters, the alarmingly low ownership rates and high foreclosure concentration in the St. Clair Place neighborhood are being addressed with the St. Clair Place Homeownership Project. By offering homes at various price points through the Neighborhood Stabilization Program, with financing from State Farm and other grants, the project is attracting homeowners of various social and economic backgrounds. Meanwhile, the new St. Clair Senior Apartments are providing affordable living accommodations for the elderly, as well as 3,600 square feet of new retail and office space. Across the street, the new People's Health Center is giving families in the neighborhood critical access to health care. And thanks to the Metropolitan Indianapolis Board of Realtors, the Mybor Centennial Project is helping renovate and build 32 homes, all of which will be rented to families at risk of being homeless. Additionally, with the help of Rebuilding Together Indianapolis, more than 50 low-income homeowners in the neighborhood are receiving crucial repairs that will keep their homes safe and livable all year long. The neighborhood is also now home to Pogues Run, Indianapolis's first retail food co-op. The member-owned grocery filled a critical void in the neighborhood where grocery store closings had been the norm in recent years. Meanwhile, several additional new businesses have cropped up on and around the revitalized East 10th Street corridor.
Because I lived in the neighborhood, I knew what potential was here on 10th Street, and I knew that it was something that was probably going to be well received.
Neighborhood youth are also benefiting from the efforts, thanks to $1 million contributions from both NFL Charities and J.P. Morgan Chase, new market tax credits from LISC, and generous local grants. The Chase Near East Side Legacy Center is now open on the campus of Indianapolis Arsenal Technical High School. It houses a greenhouse, educational gardens and kitchen, an audio-visual studio, and a fitness center. In the Englewood neighborhood, former Indianapolis Public School No. 3 has been transformed into the Commonwealth, a 32-unit multifamily apartment building for low-income families. And a new ownership incubator located at Jefferson Apartments opened on May 10, 2010. Consisting of 18 rental units and 2 condominiums, residents attend home ownership classes while living in the building.
Our residents over here do deserve quality health care, do deserve not substandard housing, do deserve somewhere to go to get something besides junk food, you know, so it means a lot to be able to be like the people in the suburbs, you know, like a Hoosier, like a person in Indianapolis.
The Super Bowl will come and go this February in Indianapolis. But thanks to the hard work of neighborhood organizations, civic leaders, and Near East Side residents, positive change will continue in the area for years to come. The revitalization of the St. Clair Place neighborhood will continue bringing in new homeowners while improving conditions for current neighborhood residents. A new initiative called Better Buildings will give residents and business owners the opportunity to get $1,500 and $2,000 grants, respectively, for energy-efficient upgrades. Change is also coming to the corner of East 10th and Oakland Streets, where ground has broken on a 49,000 square foot mixed-use building to be known as Clifford Corners. And in 2012, revitalization will extend to East Washington Street, where residents and neighborhood leaders are working with the City of Indianapolis on a plan that could bring mass transit to the Near East Side.
The acceleration of the work that has happened as a result of the Legacy Project, I mean, that momentum doesn't stop on a Sunday in February.
Sitting here today, we know that more than $150 million will have been put together and invested. It's a source of enormous satisfaction for us and I think for the people involved on the Near East Side.
So the question is how do we not lose this energy that's been built up around the Legacy Initiative after the Super Bowl and really take that and apply it in a bigger way for the benefit of other core neighborhoods in Indianapolis?
So I really think 20 or 30 years from now we're going to look back and say the East Side Legacy Project was the beginning of kind of the renaissance of the Near East Side of Indianapolis.
When you fight for something for so long and you don't get much and you get taken away things you do have and promises are broken, you get pretty doggone discouraged. And to have this come out and people say we're going to help, and then I can go down the street and actually see physically that something is happening. That's a feeling I don't think I could really put into words. It's just wonderful.